What's up, Mortgage Coach community? Today I have Keith Collins. We're going to walk through how Keith uses Mortgage Coach. What's up, Keith?
What's going on, Dave? How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. Busier than ever. This quarantine is not slowing me down. I'm interviewing more loan officers. I'm bringing on more members, and we're having a ball. How about you?
It's awesome, man. It's bananas, dude. I feel, man. I mean, I love my family. My wife and I have a great relationship. I've got a little 3-year-old and a 7-year-old, and you know, from a working standpoint, I've not spent more time with them in the last 2 weeks. Though I'm in California, Northern California, so a lot of our stuff has loosened up a lot in the last couple of weeks. It kind of doesn't feel back to normal at all, but I definitely have noticing a shift. I'm seeing a shift in purchase transactions and things like that. So in the last 2 weeks, I'm altered to go back to work Monday through Wednesday in the office because I lead a region 2, but I don't see myself changing working from home on like Fridays, maybe even Thursdays, because we've been busier than ever, but it's been really cool because, you know, my little girls come in and have lunch with me and you know what I mean? And you know, I go see them for a couple of minutes. We play around for a little bit, and then I get back to work. So it's been very busy, but it's been an interesting transition that I've actually appreciated a lot.
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of gifts that have been gained through this. So what is your loan volume like right now? We are doing this interview in May of 2020. You know, what kind of production did you do last month, and what's it look like coming into this month?
Yeah, so last month, personally, I did 23 families, helped 23 families for about 8.6 million in Northern California. This month, we're probably going to be doing something real similar. I'm looking at like 24 to 25, which is going to be in that 8 to 9 range. And then next month for June, I've already got booked. I've just looked at it. I already have booked 18 loans for June already from a purchase standpoint, and a couple of refinances that just have to take a little bit longer. So it's rolling, man. It's rolling. And the market, and it's shifted. What's really interesting, this is something new, is I looked at it. We've had 9 purchases in the last 4 business days, which is super cool. And all of those people came into my world within 2 weeks of entering in a contract. So I don't know what to do with that yet, but that's kind of an interesting shift where, you know, so often you'll have purchase transactions that are looking for 60 days, 90 days or something like that. Nine purchase transactions all entered our world, like first call from either the realtor or the lead was 2 weeks ago. So it's been an interesting shift recently.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of interesting shifts, guys. So in this call today, we're going to do a demo of how he uses Mortgage Coach. We're going to talk about his workflow. It is going to be very different than my interview with Jeremy Forcier. Like when I did Jeremy creates his own total cost analysis. In Keith's case, he has a team that does the setup. So we're going to talk about how that's different. He shared his mortgage stats. Here's a couple Mortgage Coach stats. He's done 805 total cost analysis. At least that's what I had in my back end. When you show our advice engine on yours, we'll see if the numbers are close. And then you guys have done like 87 TCAs in the past 30 days. So it sounds like you're doing both purchase TCAs, refi TCAs, and annual review TCAs. Is that fair enough?
That's probably accurate. Yeah, I think one of the things that I've realized, so I manage a region and this is we're doing, and we're not converting as well as we need to from a purchase standpoint and a refinance standpoint. So I actually just recently added another team member to help me with lead conversion. So the amount of every single person gets a TCA that comes to my world. No one gets a rate quote from us without a TCA. That's just something that we do. And really what's kind of cool is that's really on the last 2 years. We just started using Mortgage Coach probably 2 years ago. And so, yeah, we're doing a lot of TCAs. I need to be converting more of those customers.
I don't know, man. I think that I mean, if you're doing 20 to 25 loans, you know, that's a 30% conversion. Some people don't qualify. Some people don't buy this month.
True.
I mean, you know, like with Jeremy, who, you know, is just rigorous with how he measures every single lead, exactly what his conversion is. And Jeremy Forcier, who I did the interview with. And while his best conversion lead is leads from current customers, and that's like 70%. But, you know, most of his other lead sources are, you know, 35, 36% conversion. So you're not doing that bad, bro.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So let's talk about why you use Mortgage Coach. Like, what's your why?
Yeah, man. So, you know, I come from a financial planning background, certified mortgage planner. A lot of people are now, but I've been that for a long time. And I'm a numbers nerd. Like I enjoy it. I like doing the 500-foot flyover, but I like really diving deep with numbers. And I don't think that there's another platform in the mortgage space that allows me to guide a customer through the conversation that I want to have in the way that I want to have it outside of Mortgage Coach. And I think now more than ever, it's an interesting shift in the last couple of years where, I would say, and I know there's people I listen to them all the time where they're saying, hey, we still meet with 70-80% of our clients. And I think that's amazing. I don't know what shifted with me, but it's been harder and harder for me to get clients to come in and meet with me face to face. Whereas maybe 4 years ago, I met with customers, 70-80% of the time. I wonder if maybe 15 to 20% of the time I meet with clients face to face prior to COVID. And so what I had to do is look at my presentation and say, how can I add tremendously more value to the customer when I'm not meeting with them face to face. And so Mortgage Coach was kind of that thing that we implemented, and it's really changed the game for us in terms of guiding the conversation with a customer about their mortgage. We really believe that we're going to help people create wealth through managing debt, and Mortgage Coach is a platform that makes it easy for us to do that.
So I hope everybody got a couple words. We're going to help families build wealth through managing debt.
Managing debt.
And we are the platform that does that. And then hopefully you also took away that when he first started using this, he just wasn't able to get people to come into his office more. So he wanted to make sure that he had the next best thing to an in-office experience, which was Mortgage Coach. And then here's the deal, guys. COVID quarantine has changed customer experience and expectations forever. I mean, this is something we'll be talking about as 100 years from now, and there'll be pre-COVID, post-COVID, and how that changed industry, how that changed housing, how that changed commercial real estate. And I do think as mortgage professionals, it means we need to change how we virtually connect with people. So let's talk about how you use Mortgage Coach. What is your, when do you use it? How do you use it? And let's make this as much of a demonstration of how you do it as possible.
Like a tactical process standpoint?
Yeah. Walk us through your how.
Okay, so a client comes into my world and I'll typically have I call it a hopes and dreams call. And I'll actually tell the client that, hey, it's time for a hopes and dreams call. And really I'm trying to grab at least 3 things out of that call, right? Home shopping for a home is kind of like home entertainment. Even if you're not actively buying a house, you're still looking at homes online. It's just a thing that people do. So everybody kind of has an idea of the targeted purchase price, whether they can qualify it or not. So I try to find that. And so I want to find the targeted purchase price. I want to know how much they have for the initial investment on the purchase, and then how much they're targeting for the lowest for the mortgage payment. I let them know, obviously we want the lowest possible payment that we can get, but kind of what is that number that you're budgeting? And if they don't have that, then I send them some budgeting spreadsheets and try to help them with a mortgage budget. And then I want to identify how long they see themselves in the home. That's critical because deciding what rate and what program is best for them, it's crucial to understand how long they're going to be in the home, because that changes the program or the rate that we're going to do. And so that having that conversation, getting that information, and then we send them off our easy app. 99% of our customers apply via online. That information comes back, and my team has the plan to go put in place. I put those notes in our system, and my pre-approval, I call her my pre-approval expert. She's basically an LP1. A lot of people might know that, loan partner one. She pre-approves the customer and then actually creates all the numbers for me and tees me up on a TCA. I take a look at it, give her some feedback, or it's perfect, or I might make a couple adjustments on my own. I record a video, and then she sends it out.
Time out. We're getting ahead of some things. No, don't be sorry. No, that was perfect. No, you're doing perfect. I just know that you have some things to show on your screen that will help visualize that. So let's first of all look at the email. You guys heard he sends out a link. One quick question: are you using Calendly or anything to schedule meetings?
Yeah, I am. Schedule once. So that's what happens is, so we customize the link, right? So it's the Smith's Family Mortgage Plan, right? So I don't just do the Mortgage Coach link. We hyperlink the link and put that in there. And then there's a secondary link to book time on my calendar. And I was a little nervous about that in the beginning, but most clients just book on my calendar, and it's amazing because I'll go and look at my day and I've got 6 client consultations just booked for 15 to 30 minutes. I don't usually ever go longer than 30 minutes on a TCA client consultation, and we typically cover everything that we need in that initial call.
Okay, cool. So let's pull up your screen, and you tell me what you want to show first. I want to make sure people
So
are, they know how your assistant's giving it to you, they know how
yeah,
you deliver it to the borrower, and then let's
so
get
this is
into a TCA.
okay, cool. So this is what I get from my pre-approval manager. So this is Aisha. She emails me. She emails my LP2. This is her. She emails my team LO, and then this is copying the deal. We get the basic information. This is what they are, previous client. So I have my notes. This is all copied in here. She actually puts the TCA in here for me. So this is a link to the TCA, but then she also gives me the image. So like if I'm on the road or running around real quick, I could just look at it and say, okay, this is kind of, and we always highlight the important stuff. So this is kind of, so I can look at it real quick and say, okay, yeah, this is what we wanted to do. I'm always showing them. So this client here, this client said, we're looking at either a cash out refinance or just a rate and term refi. And the cash out, they wanted $8,000 to $10,000 to do some remodels in the house. So we're giving them the first one. We always compare the current. I'm giving them their 30-year. I'm giving the rate and term. We do custom terms, so I also give them a 26-year term. And then I'm showing them the 26-year term with principal reduction. So in any refinance, we're always showing somebody, if they take the savings and apply it towards the debt. Here's the key thing here is I really believe that customers often mismanage the opportunity to refinance. And I find clients and I ask them this, anytime a client asks them to refinance, I say there's usually three things that a customer is asking for or looking for in a refinance. First thing, and there's no judgment. First thing is we just need a refi. We just need to save money. Either kids are going to school and we have more debt, or maybe we've lost some income and we just need to save money. And so that's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different conversation that you have with the customer about just needing to save money. The second reason is cash out. So it's cash out for home improvement, cash out for debt consolidation, which is actually awesome with Mortgage Coach. And then the third reason is financial sense. We heard interest rates drop and we want to refinance and that's refinance if it makes sense. And I think a lot of times what we need to talk about with a client or they don't think about is great. It's awesome that we're saving $300 a month, but what we do with the savings is what really helps them increase their net worth. And that's reinvest or reapply. Because if we just go play an extra 3 rounds of golf, we've extended, yes, you're saving money, it feels awesome, it's great, but we've extended that term out over another 30 years. And in often case, they're not saving any money. And I don't know any other way to quickly show a client that than Mortgage Coach. And I think that's what sets us apart is when we have those types of conversations. Again, Mortgage Coach helps me facilitate that. So, and I say that to every customer. I really think that often our customers are mismanaging the opportunity to refinance. And I just want to make sure I show you a few things.
Love all of that. So one thing I wanted to show on my screen real quick is the 4 essentials to a smart mortgage decision. And I love the way Keith did this. He talked about, the 3 things most important. And he focused on number 4, and number 4 here, analyzing the strategies to pay off your loan faster. As a mortgage coach, you are uniquely positioned, uniquely armed to talk about that. Average LOs that just use fee worksheets, they don't even know how to have that conversation. And if they do have it, it's really conceptual and they're not showing it for that client based off of today's rates, how it compares to other programs. It's just a concept. And then number 1, I think, is something that's super important to think about because I don't think people will ever think about cash reserves the same post-COVID. Like how people are going to think about, I need more money in the bank for emergencies and I need more money in the bank for opportunities. So I think we're going to see a lot of people doing cash out refis when they can. And I also think we're going to see a lot of people doing move up buyers where they're like, hey, I can sell my home. I could put less money down on the next home, have more money in the bank, increase my cash reserves, get the office, get the gym, get a better kitchen, which people are going to want all 3 of those things coming out of COVID. And then when you show them the TCA, a move up TCA, showing them like, hey, look at how much more wealth you're going to create. And then he did number 3. You always talk about paying off other debt, and you're going to see a lot of people do that too, where they're like, hey, can I sell my home? Can I take cash out? And can I do that in a way that accelerates my debt freedom? That is going to be massively important. And Mortgage Coach makes that easy. So let's pull your screen back up. And so that's how your processor gives it to you. Or your
my LP1 gives it to me. Yeah. So I look through it all. It's good. And then what she did. So if it's good, this is then what she sends to the customer. And Oh, that's
Well,
the
wait, time
scenario.
out. Is there an email? Can we see the email and how you send it to a
Yeah, I'm
client?
trying. Yeah, hold on, bud. I'm trying to pull
Well,
it up.
don't
Sorry, man.
don't worry about it. I don't want to, and
Oh
I
no,
can take the
it's
screen.
right here. Here it is.
Okay, got it.
So it's a lot of data, but this is what it is. So this is the email that she sent to the client, Ben and Barbara. Kind of gives them a basic. She actually didn't customize it here, but we typically do. Click here to view refinance option. That's the mortgage coach. It's a basic breakdown here of what we're doing, and a breakdown of kind of the terms and savings. Because sometimes clients are just like, they don't dive into it. They don't want to do it. They just want the basics, and here you go. So there's that. Here's the link to my calendar where they just book. And this was a big change for us. Is sometimes the clients, because I've recorded a video already here, and we can get into that. I've already recorded a video. When they click on this link, they're going to get a video with me kind of explaining the numbers and why we put together the information. A lot of times it's a previous customer doing this refinance. They know us, they like us, they trust us. And so if I'm recommending this scenario, they just want to jump into it. And so we're actually, what we realized is we weren't giving people an easy way to just apply right there. I was waiting to want to have a conversation with them, but often the mortgage coach just really gives them everything that they need and they're ready. So this is one of the things that we added in the last kind of 60 days was just a link right there. Click the link, start the loan, and people are just coming in. And then we're having to, because what's happening is we're having to call them to say, like, what option did you want? Because they just started the refinance. I don't know if that's making sense.
So
but
couple footnotes here. So guys, I've interviewed countless loan officers, and there's no one way to forward the mortgage coach link. I'd say this is a pretty thorough example of doing it with a lot of information. I have seen things, where it's just like, I always like it when you put the person's name, the Smith family refinance analysis, or the Smith family purchase options, or whatever. I do recommend putting the name as a best practice. But like, this is what Keith does. You could put a lot less information. Don't put more information. And then Keith, one suggestion, I've been hearing it over and over, rather than calling it an app, consider calling it a questionnaire. So click here for the, smart and easy client questionnaire. Just a thought for you to consider. So let's go through the TCA. For demo purposes, guys, I want to call out that you can put your picture in the upper right-hand corner. So it's branded. Keith's got the shirt on he wants. He has the picture that he wants. This is his personal brand. He's got his company logo. And, this is his mortgage experience. So first of all, Keith, what do you call this when you take a family through it? Do you call it a total cost analysis?
I usually call it a total investment analysis. I don't like the word cost. I don't like the word payment. I don't like the word cash to close. I don't like down payment. It's an investment. We're making an investment. So I typically call it an investment. So like, sometimes I'll go a little, I think it might be a little too far, but I'll say like total monthly investment instead of total monthly payment. When I talk about their cash to close, total initial investment. This isn't an investment in a mortgage. It's an investment in refinance. It's an investment in a home. So I like to replace investment with cost.
Okay, so let's go through this in just a minute. If you could scroll up and down real quick, I want to call out, guys, at the very top. It's got purchase options. It's got cash to close. It's comparing options, things that are above and beyond what you normally see. Is it showing your term reduction? Could you scroll like one section at a time so they can see monthly graphically? You're starting to show cost over time. So number 2 key concept on the 4 ways to make a smart mortgage decision are showing the cost over time. So now you're showing the cost. Do you usually do 60 months and 15 years, or do you tailor those based off of the client's needs?
I tailor those, but we didn't get it from this client. And what I would love about this one I was going to show you is literally, look at this. They just did a loan with us.
Right.
And, and so it's not, we can't do the loan yet, but they literally just did a loan with us, and I'm showing them a way. So if we see right here, they have 29.7 years left on their loan. We're going to look at potentially doing a refinance, and I'm showing her a way in which she can, because rates change so rapidly, where she can take this, she can pay off her loan in 23 years.
Yeah, this is like a historical opportunity to accelerate your debt.
It's bananas. Yeah. So we're going to take like 6 years off this loan here with this option. If she goes with option 3, strategy 3, I know some people use strategy 3, option 3, and then she does the principal reduction. So what we've done here, and this is what I love about Mortgage Coach, is we've taken the principal reduction option. So we're plugging it in here. I'm highlighting that principal reduction. So that's the principal reduction column. And so it's really cool here is, and I'm pointing this out as you're seeing this right now as I'm highlighting this and change this, I always do a live demonstration with a client. So when I get on the phone with a client and they've booked an appointment with me or I'm following up, I ask them, do you have the link that Aisha sent you? And they're often yes. I say, can you click on it? Like, I'm already in it. Perfect. I'm going to take over the screen here really quickly. Can you see me changing things? Oh yeah, that's awesome. And so the live demonstration that you can do with Mortgage Coach is so amazing because I can take over their screen and I can show them exactly what I want them to see. And here's one thing that I've changed a little bit that I think helps is I always ask them, I make a joke out of it. I say, hey, I'm a numbers nerd. So we'll go super deep on the numbers. I want to tailor this to what the information that you need. Do you want to do just a 500-foot flyover or do you really want to dig in deep to the numbers? And that helps me customize what I'm going to show them. If they say 500-foot flyover, I typically don't go any further than the summary quote. But if they say, hey, Keith, dive a little bit deeper, show me some information. And then what I'll let them know is like I say, hey, this blue more info tab, because often people don't see it. This blue info tab up here, this is your friend. Click on it. You're going to find a whole bunch more information. Like, oh, I didn't even see that. I'm like, yeah, it gives you the total monthly breakdown. Again, I'm highlighting stuff. You can highlight the whole field, which is really cool. I go into the closing costs. If there's points, what's really cool is you can actually highlight the entire row, which is cool. You can highlight individual things when you're on the phone with them, or you can highlight entire columns and point stuff out. So I'll say, hey, like option 3 is really the option that we think is most important. But what I love, and that's where mismanaging opportunity, the big opportunity we have here is I like option 3 if we actually do some principal reduction, and you know what I mean? And that's kind of I go in with it. So the other thing that I like to do is this other tab is an absolute gem, is interest over 15 years is we have what I'll often do, and this one looks like we didn't do it on here, is rather than showing interest over 15 years, we show the net worth. So Dave, you know, you can put it instead of, and I could dive back into this and show them, but we'll do, instead of interest over 15 years, you can show them net worth over time. And so we'll show them net worth in 10 years or net worth in 15 years. And when you click on this, it'll actually show up how much more equity they're going to have in the home after they take our strategy. You with me on that, Dave?
I am. Yeah, I can see it.
So yeah, and that's kind of how I dive into it, and then just go through the numbers with them.
All right, guys. So if you're watching this live in Facebook and you have questions for Keith, put them down below. But we have covered how his team does the setup. We've covered how he forwards it to the client. One more thing, could you click on mortgage, more information real quick, up there in the upper right-hand corner?
More info here.
Yeah. And then click on closing costs.
Yep.
And then click on fee details. I do want to call out in a minute, just click on fee details, that they're using templates. So they're not putting in the templates every time, or they're not putting in all the fees. They're creating templates.
Correct.
And it's going fast. I mean, you can create one of these mortgage coach reports in a
5
matter.
minutes.
You know, if you're fast, 2 minutes, and it's a simple strategy. Once you've done it 10, 20 times, it's 5 minutes. And even if you spent 7 minutes to create one, it's going to save you time. Why don't you pull up the advice engine and let's show that real quick to folks. I want to give them a quick demo of that. So first thing I want you to do is you click on settings in the upper right-hand corner, settings, not there, right there.
Oh yeah, hold on, I got the thing in the way, the screen for Zoom. So settings.
Okay, cool. So I want you guys to see that Keith is a black belt. If you could click on that little box right where it says TCA is created, it's got a little box with an arrow pointing up.
This here?
No, down next to your black belt. Yeah, right. No, not. Okay, that by the way, I want you guys, click on your black belt real quick. I want to call out, guys, you can download your badges now. You can put those in signatures. You can brag about it in Facebook.
I didn't know that.
We're seeing more and more folks do that. But close that out real quick.
Okay.
And then the little box and arrow right where it says TCA is created, right
Here.
there. Yeah, click on that. And this, again, guys, this shows you the entire journey of becoming a black belt in mortgage advice. And Keith, you tell me, when you think of pre-mortgage coach, like, hey, you had this financial planning background, but think about how far you've come as a mortgage strategist. It's like, has it made you a better loan officer from the inside out?
100%. Here's one thing I think is really interesting with this. So I don't want to say I'm landed them yet, but in the last 2 weeks, I've received 5 leads from them, and I've spoken once to all of their customers on all the changes with mortgage. So like they do a call every week during COVID with all of their customers. and they asked me to come on and speak about what's changed in mortgage, the opportunities in mortgage, what a refinance looks like today. They are the #2 Ameriprise financial planning firm in the nation. And I believe I wouldn't have landed them without Mortgage Coach. The reason they actually asked me, they're like, is this program available so that we can use it for our presentations with our customers? So it was like a convenient thing. In the hallway, we were having some conversations. He's like, hey, could you just work up some numbers? So I worked up some numbers in Mortgage Coach. I did a video, I did a live presentation with them, and they did backflips. And so again, multiple leads in the last 2 weeks, and I spoke to all of their previous customers on a conference call a week ago. I don't think it would have happened without Mortgage Coach.
Yeah, so guys, if you're looking at this, you're thinking like, hey, should I get on the Mortgage Coach team? You've seen the consumer experience. Now it's the adoption experience. If you could hit that X real quick. When you're new to Mortgage Coach, we're going to give you onboarding badges. So if you could just scroll up, like when you add your headshot, just scroll so that they can see the onboarding badges on the right. You know, did you add your logo? You can see Keith is not an enterprise level user yet, so he doesn't have his API badge yet. One of these days we'll get moved on the API team.
I'm trying.
Look, hey, you got the consecutive login badge. So,
cool.
So let's go to a specific client. Like if you can log into a client. Now, Keith isn't the one creating the TCA, so we're not going to do like we did in Jeremy. If you want to see a loan officer or anyone creating a TCA, check out the Jeremy Forcier demo down below. But notice, like, what are you looking here? Do you look at like the analysis page?
Yeah.
You know,
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the analysis page, which is here, so I can see kind of what we're showing. And this is where, like, under the long-term type chart, we might change it to total net worth. And then when we change it to total net worth, that's where I was talking about. It actually shows them their equity position over time. And then I might actually change the time frame associated with that, depending on what I'm doing with the customer. The other thing that I might do is adjusting reinvestment strategy. So if for some reason I'm talking with the customer, and this is where I'm saying, like, there is no way that an LO can do this quick. I can jump on the phone with them and they're saying, hey, okay, the option with the principal reduction. So what I'm showing a customer here is basically under option 2. So we showed them option 2. And then they're taking the savings of $413 a month and applying it towards principal. And they said, well, which is no change in their spending habits, but they said, oh, well, we're already paying $500 additional dollars. Well, I can go right here and I can type in 813. Sorry, Dave. 813. And now all of a sudden I've adjusted their principal reduction strategy to 813 a month. And the whole thing, total investment analysis will change on their screen in front of them. And they're like, oh, that's fantastic. We want to do that. So I think in a traditional world, the loan officer is having a conversation with the customer. It's so inefficient. They're having a conversation with the customer. They're going over strategy and what they kind of want to do. And then the client says, okay, well, show me this. Okay, cool. Now they're getting off the phone with the client. They're updating the numbers. They're sending it back out to the client. And then they're getting back on the phone with the client to try to sell what they've changed. And then what if they want to change it again? Well, here, I can just jump in, make the changes on the phone with them in a 30-minute conversation, lock down the strategy to a point where they're good, they know the numbers, they know what they want, they're ready to apply, and I'm done. And
love it.
I don't know how else you can do that.
Well, you can't. And let's face it, if you want to be the best, you can be good without a total cost analysis. You cannot deliver the best consumer experience without one. So click on the little in the upper right-hand corner of that. I want to show that you can easily add a video. So click on the record button. And how often do you put a video on it?
Dave, I love you, man. I didn't know that there's a record video button right here, dude. I do it here.
Oh, that's cool. Well, here's the
I always
deal,
add it here. Gosh, I didn't
have a
see
button.
that. That's amazing.
We have a button on the app. We put a button wherever it needs to be, but this was an enhancement. Actually, it's not been that recent, but so like every screen that you're at in Mortgage Coach, you could go live. You could either add a video or in the upper right-hand corner, you could click preview and go to that live experience. How often do you do the Mortgage Coach live?
Every time I do a presentation with a customer.
So explain that real quick. So click on preview. So imagine his team created it. He finessed it. Like, should I show a piece prepay strategy? Should I adjust the short-term, long-term? Should I, instead of showing the gain, you know, like how one loan saves money? Do I want to show the paint? Do I want to turn it to red? You know, you might want to change your benchmark, but you'll notice all these yellow highlights. So you send it to the client and then you get on with the phone with them and then you edit it. Is that what you're doing?
Yep, exactly. So I get on the phone with them and I'll just say, hey, do you, by any chance, you guys have the link? Do you have the link that, oh, and Aisha, when the client's booked, the, you know, Calendly will and schedule once will remind them the day before and then an hour before. But day of, Aisha will email them. She'll look at my calendar, anything I have there. She'll resend them the link, and then she'll just remind them, like, hey, have this link in front of you when you get on the phone with Keith. And then when I get on the phone with them, I just ask them, okay, guys, this is your time. I want to make sure that it's valuable to you. There's a few things that I want to go over, but I think one way to make this really, really awesome is, do you have the link in front of you that Aisha sent you? Oh my gosh, we already have it up. Or no, I don't. Is there any way that you can get that in front of you? Oh, totally can. And so they have it in front of them, so they click it off and they click it, and then they open it, and then I log in. And so if they had that link, I'm already live with them right now because I clicked preview. So I'm in it and I can take over their screen and guide this presentation. If I move this like this, it moves on their cell phone or on their desktop. If I click this button right here, now all of a sudden their screen has changed and I'm able to show them payment breakdown and closing costs and reinvestment and stuff. So not only is it a great way to show information, it's a really slick presentation. Did I lose you, Dave? So yeah, so we'll go through this and just kind of show them a few different options when I'm on the phone with them, jumping in really quickly. The other thing that I think is cool is, let me jump back here, is when we record the video, I didn't know there was a video record button, but when you generate and share a link, I can add the audio video here. It comes up, and then right there, I can record my video. It gives me, what's really cool is it gives me a option to record it right here on my desktop or record it on my phone. And so sometimes we'll have 5 or 6 of these things that need to get done in a day. And I actually have a little stand on my desk. I plug my cell phone in there. I have the app down, so there's an app for this. I have an app downloaded on my phone, on my iPhone. And when you go in here and you just click either in web version or mobile app, it'll ping the mobile app and it just brings up my recording device on my phone and records right away. And I actually think it's a little bit clearer delivered that way. But I can knock out 8 to 10 of these videos in probably 5-10 minutes, because I don't really make a video any longer than probably 30 seconds or so. Let's see here. What else can I show? The analysis is really cool because that's going to show you the short-term and long-term analysis. So if they said, hey, well, we're not going to be in this home any longer than 3 years, that's 36 months. So I can just jump in here, change it and edit to 36 months. And now quickly I've changed their savings over time from 60 months, which is 5 years, to 36 months. If they say, hey, we're going to be in this home, we won't be in the home any less than 3 years, and we probably won't be in the home any longer than 10 years. So right there, when I'm on the phone with them, when I'm adjusting that reinvestment strategy, I can just change the numbers and it changes everything for them right there, which I think is pretty cool. And then what's really awesome, I think you got back, Dave, right? You're here?
Yeah.
What's really awesome is the whole net worth tab that we're talking about right here. So real quickly, I can show them, hey, here's your current. So in your current path, you don't change anything. You stick with the current loan that you have, which is totally fine. At the end of 10 years, you'll have about $303,000 in net worth. But what we've been able to show you is if you use our strategy, which is the 26-year refinance, where we refinance a 26-year term and we take the savings and apply it towards the principal, you're going to have over $100,000 more in net worth in 10 years with our strategy. And that's how we're helping them build wealth.
Love it, brothers. So I am going to share my screen real quick and give a little demo on a few things, and then we will wrap this up. If you can confirm you can see my screen.
No, I can't. I need to stop my share. Now I can. There we go.
Okay, cool. So guys, what you're looking at right now is our Rate Watch app. So in addition to the total cost analysis, you're getting the Mortgage Coach Rate Watch app. So you could click here. You can see this is what happened today. You can turn it. You can share it with your client. You can click the share button, email it, text it, Facebook it, copy it to your clipboard. And again, our whole philosophy is to give you consumer content. So that's why green means rates improve today, red means they get worse. We are tracking through Optimal Blue. This is the Optimal Blue indexes, which are both in Edge or in our advice engine, which we showed you in a minute, and they're also here. And this is what rates are actually getting locked in at. Like consumers think they know what rates are, but they're looking at what they are on Zillow, on different online platforms. Guys, this is what rates are actually getting locked in at. You have access to this and you can share it. Jeremy Forcier noticed this in our platform recently, and he's using it like daily. So again, super hot strategy. What I'm going to do now is I see someone ask a question, what's it cost to get going with Mortgage Coach? So here's the cost.
What's
It's
it cost if you
$800.
don't?
Right. It's $120, no commitment, no setup fee. It's a monthly expense of $120. But I believe the real cost of Mortgage Coach is the cost of not having Mortgage Coach and the loans that you lose. So at least one loan per month you will not have if you have Mortgage Coach, and use it. I mean, you've got to become at least a brown belt. Brown belt has done 100 TCAs. Every loan officer that was serious about their career, I believe, should be at least a brown belt. If you want to be the best of the best, black belt, red belt, be the best of the best. Keith, do you agree with that? Like when you think of the tangible value?
It's a no. I mean, I hate using the word no-brainer, but I mean, if you want to be a mortgage person, individual consultant, I mean, I see so many people that planner in their mortgage, and and they screenshot an interest rate to a client. Like I just don't understand how you're a planner when you do that. So things have shifted for loan officers in the last couple of years where, just to be quite frank, we didn't really have to pay for much before. And now we're having, and I'll get that conversation with some of the people I lead. It's like, I'm being $100 to death, right? So you've got, Pie Drive or your database or, Mortgage Coach and, all these different programs. But I think, there's two programs that I don't understand how a loan officer in today's world lives without. One's Mortgage Coach, the other one's HomeBot. There's just no way. And if I had to choose one, it's Mortgage Coach because I'm presenting information to customers. It is a no-brainer. The one thing that I would say is this, if you sign up, you have to commit to a minimum of 20 TCAs before you give up or even form an opinion, because you are altering the way that you've done business. And if a loan officer that closes 60, 100 transactions, a year, which is great, it's great production. But I mean, it's good, but you have your process that you do it. This is going to change your process. You are going to have to learn a new way of doing business. You're potentially going to have to create fee templates and do all that kind of stuff. And I find often loan officers jump into this, they do 5 or 10, and they're like, it takes too long. It doesn't. And I'm blessed with a loan partner that handles this for me, but she has told me multiple times, I will never go back to the old way that we do this. It's more efficient, it's easier, it's quicker, and it's actually more fun to me because she's actually able to kind of wrap her brain around the tangible benefits that we're showing clients. So you at a minimum, have to commit to 20 before you even form an opinion on Mortgage Coach if you sign up.
I like that. We share that all the time. So closing things I want to demo is this is the advice engine. So all you need to do right now is go down below in show notes. I'll have a link to sign up for Mortgage Coach, $120 a month, or you lose one loan a month, whatever you want. And we will train you. So within Mortgage Coach, there is a notification engine. And if you log in and you're brand new to Mortgage Coach, it's going to be things like how to read a TCA. It's going to be white belt stuff. As you get more advanced, it will put more advanced content in here. So we're going to drive that for you. It's also, we didn't talk about it, but every time a family clicks on it, you get an alert. So you know what people looked at and how long they looked at it. So if you gave someone your TCA and it hasn't been clicked on, you aren't engaged. You do not have someone committed. Strategy templates are an absolute must. Super time savings. Create your strategy template. So something that might have taken you 10 minutes to do, you just go back, open a strategy template, and you go. So I'm not going to do more training on this. I think we've covered enough. If you believe in my advice makes a difference, I want to be the type of mortgage professional my advice makes a difference, then join the Mortgage Coach team, and we will turn you into a grandmaster at mortgage advice. As Keith said, if you're not willing to commit to become at least an orange belt, like I'm going to sign up and I am going to use this thing 20 times, and then I'm going to assess the ROI. So I mean, really, like technology that you don't use isn't going to give you an ROI, but Mortgage Coach, if you use it, if you deliver it to your families, will deliver you a massive ROI, and you will become a grandmaster at Mortgage Coach and at delivering advice. So Keith, any other closing thoughts as we wrap up this, how Keith Collins uses Mortgage Coach? Is there anything you do that you haven't shared yet?
No, I copy all the realtor on the presentation. So I always do that. I always copy the realtor on the presentation and then try to point it out to them that we've created that, especially if it's a newer agent that I'm working with, because it's pretty cool. I mean, we've created a video, we've built it in there, we have all this information and numbers, and so here's I guess another one is, now more than ever, I think clients are coming to their realtors already pre-approved with an online lender or something like that. And so I'm actually using Mortgage Coach to help me convert. And so what my agents are asking is, hey, when they get pre-approved by Quicken Home Loans or whatever, did your lender provide you a total investment analysis on your loan?
I love that.
Right. And they'll say no. And then the agent says, well, then how do you know that the loan option you're choosing is the right one for you? And they're done. And then like, well, we don't know. And like, well, then at least talk to Keith for like 10, 15 minutes. I just want to make sure you're in the right loan. So guys, I don't think people, and sorry, and this is what I think this is a good little one-liner too. I don't think people in 2020 get the wrong loan, but they might not be getting the right one.
Yeah. And guys, this is it. So I want you to look at what you're giving to a client right now. Put that side by side. Does it have your logo? Does it have your personal brand? Is it doing the transactional triangle? Like, we're going to teach you what the transactional triangle is: rate, payment, cash to close. Or does it have the advice star, where it shows cost over time and shows strategies to pay off your loan faster? If you're not doing that, and it looks like someone just asked for this. So the person who just said, hey, send me that chart, if you could confirm this is what you're looking at. Guys, if you're not a mortgage coach, you cannot help every family with the 4 essentials to a smart mortgage decision. So we hope you sign up. Click the link down below. Go to our website, mortgagecoach.com. And Keith, dude, you were awesome on Scripted Palooza the other day. You're always, like, you're a busy loan officer. This isn't how you make a living. But thank you for being an ambassador of Mortgage Coach. You have, I know there are countless loan officers that have signed up because of your influence. And I know there are hundreds of loan officers that are using Mortgage Coach more effectively because of your leadership, bro. So, and that probably all equates to thousands of families getting better advice because of what you do in this community. So I appreciate you, man.
Isn't that cool, man? And that's cool. It's a special community. Man. It really is. So I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the opportunity to come on and do this. And yeah, thank you. Awesome.